What's going on YouTube? Neil from Off-Road Trolls here with Jeff from Off-Road Trolls. Jeff, what are we doing today?
Well, welcome back, Troll Nation. We have an absolutely fantastically beautiful weekend here in northern Michigan. Some of the best weather we have ever seen in a November. Sorry about that car. Anyway, so what did that mean? Well, that meant we went riding yesterday. What did we find? We found a deep water hole. What does that mean? I buried the Wolverine again and had to get winched out by him again. And all fun and games, but we ended up with some belt slippage. So what I did is I gave a call to my local Yamaha dealer as soon as I got home yesterday. He told me some things to check. So we're gonna do a tear down of this, check out our clutches, we're gonna check our belt, we're gonna check our drain plugs, and we're gonna show you how to do it. So sit back, relax, hope you enjoy the video, hope you learned something. Let's do it. Okay, so to check the clutch on everything in a Wolverine is a little bit different from most of the other side-by-sides out there with the CVT. Yamaha keeps all their stuff parked under the center console, not underneath the box or the bed where you would normally find it. So we're going to have to take some stuff apart to get to it. It's not a big deal, but there are some things you're going to want to take off to make the job a little bit easier for yourself. Okay, so a couple things that we're going to take out just to make life a little bit easier on ourselves are going to be our doors and our seats. Really easy to do, so we'll show you how to do that right now. Okay, doors come off with just these 4 T40 security bolts, and then it just unhooks and pops right out. Okay, doors come off nice and easy. Next are the seats, also nice and easy. Seat cushions, piece of cake, pull up and out, those are out of the way. Next are going to be your 4 seat frame bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this whole seat will come up and out and give you great access to your center console. Alright, seat bolts are going to be 4 12 millimeters. Make that a little bit more graceful in post.
Sure. No problem.
Okay, center console, also another piece of cake. You have a 10 millimeter bolt right back here, and then you have these little push pin style guys lining both sides. Okay, bolts out, push pins are out. Grab her from the back, lift it up, wrestle it around a little bit, pull it out from the front, and you are up and out.
Piece of cake.
Okay, now that we got the center console out, we can actually finally start to see the housing that our CVT is in, which is actually right over here by the driver's side, right there. But obviously that's the top of it. We need to get to the bottom of that thing. So what we have to do is pull off this little seat pan, I guess, if you will, and that is just going to be some push pins here and a couple of bolts right there.
Okay, there is the drain plug for the CVT. I'll do a slow pan out so you can actually see where it is from the top. You do not necessarily have to get all of that stuff out to do it, because you can come down, lay on the ground. Hopefully you're not old like me and have trouble getting back up. But it is in that hole. I don't know if you can see it because I can't see the camera screen. Alright, we're going to attempt to remove this back plastic piece. Bear with us as we have no idea how it comes off for sure. There was a 10 millimeter bolt there and a 10 millimeter bolt there. Some Allen headed bolts on the back, and that's where we're at right now. We'll let you know if there's more than that. All right, we already did the driver's side. On the passenger side, Jeff, you got 2 clips right there, buttons.
Thank you.
If you just take off a couple of these little screws here, here, and here, this inner panel pops straight off, and that'll allow this panel to lift right out. A couple bolts on the roll cage. We can either take it apart here or right behind the seat belt there. And this X bar will come off, and that whole back panel of plastic will come off real simple. Okay, so just because it needed both of our hands to get some of this stuff apart, and not to say you couldn't do it by yourself, but it was much easier with 2 people. We did get the cross section out of the back, and we did get this other plastic panel, which is literally just that. There's no framework there, so it was easy. It's just unbolting things. We now have very good access to the CVT housing. Now granted, some of those bolts are still going to be a pain in the butt to get to, but you can get to them.
I just want to give everybody a little bit of clarity here too. Again, we are working under the direction and instructions from our local Yamaha dealer. The first thing that we were going to try was taking the plug out of the CVT. We did that. No water came out. We were actually kind of hoping for some water because that would have explained the belt slippage. No water came out. Now, does that mean there was only a little bit in there that caused it to slip and now it's dried up? That's why we need to keep breaking this down to check it out. We need to make sure that there's nothing wrong in there, no hunks of mud, no something that was causing that slippage.
A frayed belt.
Make sure. Exactly. We are to the point now where we are doing this just to make sure that there's no other deeper underlying issues.
And also, for those of you who maybe need to replace your belt and have no idea how to get to it, with this video, hopefully you'll be able to. Okay, we did just take this, I guess this would be the intake, or no, the belt exhaust. Just comes out of there, a hose clamp there, pops right off. And then the same thing, we just took this 90-degree elbow off the air intake for the belt right there. And then next will be just popping all these bolts all the way around off. The top bolts obviously are the easy ones to get to. Bottom ones are not even actually that difficult, especially if you have the proper tools and don't drop the bolts.
Right there.
But it's mainly just getting down underneath the machine with your, not underneath the machine, but underneath the cover, feeling with your hand, getting the socket on, and then pulling them off.
Alright, so after popping off 11 of these 10mm bolts, we should be able to pop this off now.
And like everything else, there's probably a process of how to get it out of there. And we don't exactly know what the process is, so at the moment it's loose.
I should have done this off first.
Yep, it's loose, and we'll come back to you when it's off. Okay, we did get it out, and again, sorry it was not on camera, but you don't need to hear the language that it took. There is a way. Do not give up. It literally has to, when it's sitting on the machine like this, you literally have to work it up, vertical, twist, and pull out. That seems really simple, but it's just, there's this very, very, very little tolerance in room. Just keep at it and it will come out without damaging anything.
And as you guys can see on the inside here, we have evidence of dust and
wet dust.
Look here, there was water in there. So
yeah, you can see right here where it had been water slinging around.
Yep. So that was the cause of our belt slippage. Was we got a little bit of water in there. I am guessing it came in from the exhaust while the machine was tipped. Now, you guys didn't actually get to see any of that, but when we were the first water attempt at our hole yesterday, the machine actually tipped pretty severely over to the driver's side, to the point where my wife kind of dove out the passenger side and I kind of dove into the passenger seat. So I'm guessing right here, where that exhaust doesn't actually seal up to this, it just kind of blows air in there. I'm guessing we got some water up in there, and that's actually what ended up causing our slippage. Now, we didn't actually pull the drain plug yesterday because, for one, from the underside of these things, they are extremely difficult to get to. That's why we just kind of wanted to check it out today. We just did a bunch of neutral revs, basically. Popped it in neutral, put the parking brake on, and then revved it up for a while. And that amount of air going through there was enough to dry it out, enough for us to get safely home without actually spinning the belt anymore.
And it is important to note that it is important to note that we no longer feel any slippage in the belt, but we just wanted to make sure that there was not a problem. By tearing it down, we are now able to inspect the belt and the clutches to make sure that everything is as it should be.
And I am seeing no shiny spots, no flat spots, no ribs missing. So I would say we probably would have been just fine pulling the drain plug, but by going this far, we now know for sure that our belt is fine, our clutches are in great shape, everything is clean, no mud, no sticks, no debris, no nothing. So we just had we had some water in there yesterday, so that was our problem. So now we get to put everything back together. Fun. Alright, so we're actually going to button this up. Now we got a really good peace of mind. We know that it was just a little bit of water in there. The clutch plates look great, belt looks great. Before we button this back up, I actually just wanted to actually show you guys something, and this is going to be an example of the centrifugal wet clutch that's in there. Now, if you guys have watched any other clutch videos on 99% of the other side-by-sides out there, you'll know that when you start it up, the primary clutch is spinning very fast all the time, and then it grabs the belt to take off. These Yamahas actually have a wet clutch inside of this part of the engine here, and it doesn't actually turn the primary until you get some RPM in there. I'm going to show you that right now. And by being able to do that, Yamaha keeps tight tension on these belts at all times, which actually gives you the really long belt life, which is why the Yamahas have a 10-year belt life on, or a 10-year belt warranty.
So now that it's just running, notice no spinning of the primary at all or secondary.
Well, when we rev it up a little bit, and it stops.
Well, folks, we're winding down this project and buttoning everything back together. Don't really think it's necessary to show you it all going back together as we showed it coming apart. We are satisfied that there is nothing wrong with the belt or the housing, and hopefully this is just a good explanation of how to get there on these machines if you need it. So, like usual, remember to like, subscribe, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Jeff, anything you want to add?
Thanks for watching. Stay safe. See you on the trails.
Have a wonderful day.